Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. We're on a vacant block here in my little town, and there used to be some really old shops on this block, and when I say really old, they were from the 1800s, and it's set for development at some stage. So I happened to be talking to the owner the other day, or the guy that was managing the block. He had an excavator in here cleaning up a bit, and I asked him about the old timber down here, and he said, well, it's got to go, help yourself. Otherwise it's basically just going to be a bonfire. So I reckon there's some really nice old Oregon pieces there. They're obviously splintered and not in the best condition. Some of it's a bit rotten, but I might bring the trailer in here. We'll load up with some timber and we'll see what we can salvage. We might be able to make some pretty good cool stuff out of it. And in the back corner of the block there were some old Oregon beams. They've been picked through, but there's still quite a few here, and probably can't see very well at the moment. Some of them got some dry rot going on, but there's plenty of length to them. These were the main support beams under the shop. The shop actually had a really big cellar, so a nice stack against the fence there. So I better bring the trailer back the next nice sunny day and load some of them up. Well, here's a life lesson for everyone. Don't dilly-dally if someone offers you things for nothing, because you'll miss out. It's about 4 days later, and this pile has been pretty much cleaned up other than a bit of rubble. So fortunately, over in that corner behind all the grass, all those Oregon beams are still there, and that's what I was much more excited about. So whoever's come to get this, I assume they were grabbing it for firewood. The gate's still open, so perhaps they are coming back for the other stuff. I'd hate for all that Oregon to be burnt, so I'm going to back my trailer up and load her up now, and I'll give you a look as I'm going. Oh, just stopping for a bit of a breather. There's a lot of timber here, and it's been laying here for, oh, look, I reckon I offered the guy a few $100s about 6 to 8 months ago, and I've had a fairly wet year, so it's been lying here for a while in the dirt, which is a real shame. Some beautiful pieces of Oregon here, all very old. There's some good straight lengths amongst it. Lots of nails in it, but I'll get plenty out of it. And there's quite a stack here still to go, and there's a couple of really long pieces, so I'm not sure how I'm going to get them home. We'll see if they sit on top of the load and poke over the back of the ute a bit. Hopefully there's no police around, but I've only got about 800 metres to go to get to home, so I think I'll be all right. Anyway, I better get it done. No sign of anyone else coming in yet, so that's good. I suspect the guy that took the other pile was just after firewood, and it would have been a real shame to cut this stuff up for firewood. I mean, this is 100-year-old Oregon beams. That would be at least 10 inch, and probably by about 2.5 inch or something. Very thick, quite heavy. And even though there's some rotten bits and some split ends, there's still some good solid timber in here to be salvaged. So I better get it loaded up, and I'll show you the load when it's finished. Okay, we're all loaded up. That's my exercise for the week, probably 2 weeks. Some of that timber was really heavy. Some of these beams were actually thicker. One at the bottom, there's actually a couple that are almost like sleepers. They're almost 5 inches thick. Some beautiful Oregon timber in it. And the length of some of these pieces, I've had to sort of hang them into the back of the ute. Means I won't be able to turn overly sharp, and you know, I'm going to throw a rope over it, but I only have to go about 800 metres up the street, so I would never take this out on the highway. The trailer's probably overloaded. I don't know what the weight on there would be, and it's handy having the crane jib on the front because it gave me something to stack against in the middle, so that at least it'll give me a little bit of turning room. But very happy with this. I don't know what I'm going to do with them as yet. There's look, they'd have a good market if I just wanted to sell them, but I'll take the time to denail them. I'll cut the rotten ends off, and I'll stack them somewhere out of the weather. Isn't that magnificent grain? You know, probably 130 years old these are. And yeah, the day's nearly done. I'm happy to get this load on. I'll throw a rope over it, and hopefully I can get home okay. There's probably a bit more weight hanging out the back than what I should have, but I couldn't push it any further forward. As I said, this is an 8-foot trailer, So some of these lengths would be, I reckon they'd be 16 to 18 feet long. Lots of nails in it, lots of early handmade nails too. So it'll take a while to clean the timber up, but it's well worth it considering I've got it for nothing. So yeah, with the weight at the back of the trailer, it's actually lifted the back of the ute up a bit. So it's certainly a heavy load. Anyway, I better sneak home. Hopefully no one spots me that that I don't want to spot me. I've taken everything except a couple of little thin bits that were badly white ant eaten. So I'm pretty happy with that load. Alright, I best hit the road and get home. I made it home okay. There's the load from a distance to give you some perspective. There's a lot of timber on that trailer. It's going to take a long time to clean it up and denail it, but it'll be pretty cool for future projects. So thanks for watching this little adventure. Nothing to show you as far as a product at the end, but a lot of cool timber to work with down the track. Catch you next time.